Hey, Brett here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start shaking, and then I'm going to talk about Paradox Diaries 5.1. All right, the shaking is essential. In the moment, what shaking is going to do is it's going to sort of generally just slightly turn up your sympathetic system just a little bit. And then as you let go at the end, you'll typically have a rebound that will turn things down. So in the moment, it's going to turn down the noise in your body. It's going to calm you down. It's literally going to turn down the amount of ATP. And if you do this right before bed, what you're really doing is you're getting yourself really ready for bed as opposed to, maybe ready for bed. So why 5? I've been going through multiple versions. The Paradox Diaries, it turns out, that I've only recently realized, is honestly me rubber ducking ideas and trying to refine them. And actually, I guess I'm keeping a log of it. So I've been working on finding the relationship between this specific practice and deep flexibility and heart rate variability. And I'm finding that it's actually quite good. And according to the research, and we'll see, the numbers I'm getting, and the test that I have is falsifiable, the numbers that I'm getting actually are pretty amazing and pretty convincing. So, and the numbers suggest that continued practice of this over time is going to help allow my body to have less overall inflammation, less overall gunk because I'm pumping my lymphatic system, and actually more mental power in an actual sense, because this allows a certain thing in your brain to go from consuming to storing. So if you do this on a regular basis, over time, you're basically giving your nervous system a balancing kick. Now, in actuality, this practice is what we call homeostatic. It brings you in balance. And so if I happen to be high, so just for a range of numbers, one of the systems I uses a 100-point system. And typically, a good number for me is mid-50s, low to mid-50s. So if I'm in low to mid-50s and then I start practicing, I'll typically end up either there or maybe down into the mid-40s. Mid-40s is about balance for me. But on the other hand, the biggest jump I've ever had is I came in with a 10 and then ended up at 30. And that's astounding. And actually, I was really kind of just out of it, and it really helped me up. So if you're down, it'll bring you up. And if you're a little, and let me say this differently, if you're sympathetic dominant, it'll turn that down. And if you're parasympathetic dominant, it might turn it down. And I've also found that it can be falsified. So sometimes it doesn't change, and it's just I'm right in the middle and I stay there. And what else? Oh yeah, I use THC to help me sleep. And if I have too much THC before doing this practice, it'll often just stay the same. So conditions count, conditions matter. But this seems to really help. And okay, so that's great. There's the Western science. Now let's talk about the body science. All right, let me tell you my actual lived experience. I sleep for 6 hours instead of an hour and a half before getting up. So by shaking, I'm actually taking the liquid that tends to, gravity pulls liquid into your legs. And by doing this, I'm returning it into my tissues. And so that's going to help me, the older guy, from having to get up and go pee. So my sleep is better. And if you get better sleep, that is one of the hugest health benefit things you can do for yourself. So sleep is necessary. And the reason sleep is necessary is, well, actually, here's why sleep is necessary. Do you clean your house? Do you clean your house? If you don't, then okay, you don't need to sleep. It's the exact same thing. You need to spend time in your house keeping it clean so it takes less time to do things. It's hard to do the dishes. Well, it's hard to do the dishes if there's a lot of dishes. So the quicker you do them, the better. Body's the same way. So if you're like this all day long, like this all day long, like this all day long, what's going to happen is eventually you're just going to be running on thin ice. But if you allow your body to clean itself up, this is a cleaning cycle. It's like a washer. Right? Then you sleep. That combination really helps your body take care of business and clean things up at night. So if you think that you can just be in an environment and not how somehow contribute back to that environment, and things are not going to degrade, then you might want to reconsider that. And what I mean by that is you have to take care of your house or the place you're living, or it's going to fall apart. You have to take care of your body, or it's going to fall apart. And that's just the cost, right? Thinking that you don't have to do that is actually just denial of what is, right? Impermanence. Everything decays. And so the only way to delay that decay is to put energy in it. So ironically, you keep having to put energy into, well, I guess I'm sorry, I take that back. That's not ironic at all. It's maybe seemingly so, but in fact, the reality is if you observe things, systems that do not have energy coming in stop. They run out. You cannot continue. And in fact, what that really means is that system over time loses its ability to integrate with the system around it. And so there's no chance for information or energy interchange, and it eventually becomes disconnected. And when it's disconnected, it's still connected in the sense that, let's say the biological system, it turns into dust, it becomes part of the earth, and then we eat it again or something like that. So it's not fully disconnected, but its relationship to what it was is different. However, the particle of dust that was the thing, there's a connection there. And now we're talking about emptiness, Mahayana Buddhism and emptiness. No independent arising. I'm not suggesting that the connection is direct, not suggesting the connection is fast, but I am connecting. I'm sorry, I'm just wandering here, but that's fine. Let's go back to the body for a second, because I'm actually feeling really relaxed. I can feel the muscles down the inside of my arms are actually pretty relaxed. I'm still a little bit tight on my lower back. I'm starting to feel some stuff into my thighs. And I can also feel that my upper chest is fairly loose. There's some more room for that. I haven't been hanging my arms too much, so my shoulders are not too loose, but I can do that there. And if I do this for a little bit, sometimes I can get really nice waves of shaking all the way down the arm in synchronicity. I have to be really relaxed for that, so I'm not there yet. I have those diagrams over here. I'm going to skip on that. How does something, actually, skip that. I'm going to talk about a couple of experiments you might want to consider. Let's say you want to teach somebody a metaphor for the nervous system. I'm not going to do this live because I don't feel like getting commercial-free music. So imagine I've got a speaker right here. So the speaker is right here. Visualize a speaker here, okay? Imagine I've got the speaker turned on, and let's say it's just, it's just pleasant music, and it's not too loud, okay? That's an analogy for your nervous system being calm. Let's say you start doing something like you start jogging or something like that. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. It's louder, it's louder, it's louder, okay? Now imagine, so that's your active, that's your sympathetic. Imagine on the other side, you got another little speaker. It's a little quiet speaker. Now, when it was quiet on the one side, you could hear this one, but when this is turned up, you really can't hear it. I mean, it's still playing. I mean, if you really concentrate, maybe you can hear it, but the volume on that one, it doesn't change so much. I mean, it does change, but it changes on its own. It takes care of itself. This one you control somewhat. And the best way to control this one is, well, when you press the button, if you're turning it up, you're breathing faster. And if you press the down volume, you're breathing slower and into your belly. So that's you have control of this speaker over here. So that means you can turn down the nervous system, which allows you to turn up your ability to hear this one over here. Now, why is that important? If you can do that when you're doing deep flexibility, it gives you much better chance to feel when you're getting too far so that you don't have a reflex response. And what happens is the more you practice that, the more you're able to sit in discomfort, pay attention, because you need to pay attention so you don't get into any more discomfort, and then breathe. And over time, what you're going to find is you're going to be building up huge mental resilience. It's a deep meditation practice. Okay, I've been doing this for 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and being a little bit strict tonight because with the new system, well, why the 5.0? I never said that. With the new 5.0 system, I'm actually doing an entire recording of HRV, doing much more raw data. And I'm going to be building up a catalog of what this practice does to my HRV so we can map the sort of figure out what's going on. And then I'm going to put it on the public internet so that it becomes part of the next generation of LLMs. So I'm right now working with LLMs to make the next level of LLMs even better, because the continuity of the information I got on Olive here should be high enough that it will get in. And if not, you know, maybe next generation. So, hello, Chesh. I'm going to be doing front splits. I have been getting crazy improvement in my front splits. So I don't even know if I have much more to go before I let my heel finishing healing. All right, so front splits. I've got this chair that I use. I've got good pad for my knee. Actually, I've just done the left leg first, so I guess I'll do the left leg first. And let's see, a couple things. I don't want any kind of welt going on here. I'm going to stretch a little bit further. And I've got the kitty here. The kitty does add slight complications, but nothing too bad. All right, and I'm going to take this. Whew, I'll tell you what. If nothing else, the shaking makes these stretches start relaxing much faster. Oh my, already. So on my right side, it's my abductors on the outside there are already loosening up, and I can feel my hamstrings on my left loosening up, and my hips are opening up. Just I'm not having to do anything, and the feeling I'm having now is quite familiar, but it starts so much faster when I do the shaking. Now, shaking works for some very good reasons. Your body is a collection of connected, complicated systems. Lots and lots of complicated systems. A characteristic of complicated systems specifically is that they tend to respond well to a certain amount of noise. The noise tends to help them sort of clean up, self-stabilize, but the noise has to be a certain amount of noise, and I believe it's something like 30%. It doesn't matter, because here's how you know what your 30% is. If you're sore after shaking, that's too much. If you're not getting anything else at all out of it, that's too little. It may not work for you. It works for me. It's a pretty general thing, and it's based not on anything special other than how the body tends to be wired. So this whole thing that we're doing here really is based on the mechanics of the body. That's all we're doing. There's nothing special, and there's lots of ways to do it. This happens to be my way, and I like the side benefit of, like, right now, I'm getting a lot of really good strength added to my right arm because I'm using it for a lock. I'm not going to be able to do I can do one pull-up, one sit-up, excuse me. I'm not going to be able to do a lot of them, but the thing is, this is adding strength to my arm, a little bit here, a little bit there. And if you're trying to get big muscles, fine, this isn't going to do it. But if you're trying to have a habit of health that just tends to be gently supportive, i.e., if you want to be able to keep adding some energy into your body so that you keep cleaning your house, then this is a great way to do it. And a side benefit is you can do squats. You don't have sore backs, or I don't have a sore back, et cetera, et cetera. But right now, this is pretty intense. I'm very stretched right now. And this is deep. I'm going to relax a little bit more. Okay, right there. I don't want to go any further. Ooh, that's a little bit too far. Okay, I'm pushing back with my right hand. Notice you probably didn't see me move. I moved a millimeter, if even. Actually, I might not have moved at all. It might just have slightly changed the balance of pressure. And that's what I'm talking. This is what this is over time. So in the beginning, you don't do stretches like this. You do more supported stretches. This is a fairly supportive stretch, but I'm in an extreme amount of stretch right now, and it's requires a lot of stability, and so I got to be careful. Like this guy, he's calm right now, but also this chair really does help quite stabilize the stretch. Oh man, I'm getting some huge stretches. Okay, so now my right front thigh is stretching. My right hip flexor is getting a nice little pull. And my hamstrings on the left just keep pulling and pulling and pulling. Oh. Now, chest is moving me just a little bit. I'm okay, I'm stable, but if he were to be bumping into my arm a little bit harder, actually, I think, I'm going to be more proactive on that. I'm going to do an empty movement back over to here. Did not lose any of that stretch. Oh, I'm going to deepen the stretch by having my torso where it is. Ah. There, that's as much as I should do. That's a huge, huge stretch. And I'm going to, that was 5 minutes. Yikes. Okay, now come out. I'm going to be really slow on this. Oh, man. Ooh, that right hip flexor is having a word with me. I might have to give it a name. Okay. Yikes. Now I've got my hip flexor stretch. If you notice, I'm not actually letting it compress at all. Then I'm going to get my left knee on the ground that I can push up, and then I can just let the pressure off. So now that I've got my left knee on the ground, I can just let that relax for a second and bring it in slowly. And once you bring it all the way in, it's fine. But if you don't do that, well, you won't do that once, maybe twice. Hopefully by the third time you figure it out. It hurts. Okay, right side, 5 minutes. Same thing. Whew, man. And here we go. Oh, man. Now, on my right leg, I've got to remember I'm sort of letting my foot go outside laterally. That is a no-no, because if I do that, I'm going to feel something on the right outside of my right knee that I don't like. And so I just have to keep really cautious of alignment. And you'll need to learn that for your own self. You may not have you're not going to have the same wiring as I do. I was in Ireland, and what was it? I don't remember. It's 2000 something. And I was playing squash. After 45 minutes, I went from back court to front court. And in doing that, it felt like someone hit me with the racket in my calf. And about a week later, I couldn't walk. About a week later, I noticed the blood from whatever ripped. And I was too stupid to do anything about it. But I was smart enough that since I practiced yoga at the time, I was aware enough of body alignment that I walked about a quarter step really slowly. In fact, actually, as I think about it, I was probably doing my first examples of empty stepping, and I was making sure that my feet were perfectly aligned every step. So I was basically doing very deeply intentional walking for a couple reasons. If I didn't, it hurt. I would stagger. And by doing it, I was making sure that the tissues healed in alignment. And I was aware enough at that time to do that. And so I think it healed. It hasn't ever been an issue since. So you can actually rewire your body. But the problem is the the thinking of it as being a fix. It's not a fix, it's maintenance. I mean, fix to me is a point in time. I fix this. Maintenance is upkeep. And our bodies are not exactly closed systems, but they're a lot more tightly coupled than, say, I don't know, the chair I'm on in my body. So I need to eat food, I need to sleep, and so on. I need to make, so why wouldn't you need to maintain your body? And in fact, you are always maintaining your body. If you sit all day and you don't do anything about it, you're maintaining your body, and your body's like, okay, well, we're sitting all day. I'm going to shorten these tissues because why waste our time with this tissues? I mean, I'm going to be efficient. Your body is ruthlessly efficient. It's like it's going to adjust to what you do. So what do? You say, well, body, I'm going to stretch the hell out of my hips and I'm going to breathe calmly while doing it. How do you like that? And you know what? Actually, the body effing loves it. That's how it likes it once you work up to it. But, choose your adventure. Also, it may not work for you, but it does work for me. Okay. Right now, I'm trading a little bit of hamstring stretch for a heck of a lot on the left side. I would say it's hip flexors, adductors. It's the adductors. Sorry, abductors. Abductors. I can't say it. I'm a bit stretched. The outside ones. Okay, and I'm going to come out of this. Yikes. My left side groin, inside groin, is a bit tighter than my right. And with that pose right there, I can tell you, even though I don't know for certain, I'm pretty certain that the distance in stretch between the two has been reduced. Not by much. I don't want to stand up on it yet, though. Okay, let's see. Again, I'm going to set my other knee down, and I'm going to hover over on that other knee and sort of let this one drop and droop in. Sit back, pointer flex, plantar flex. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here with my ankles plantar flexed, pointed for just a second, just to give my ankles some attention. I'm also going to do some breathing. Okay, so with the shaking, I basically rebooted my body, got everything online, and since it was rebooted, everything was kind of fresh, and that's why I started this stretch a little bit better. So basically, what I managed to do was, if we go back to the speakers at the very beginning, the speaker on the right was probably a little bit loud, and then shaking turned it down a little bit, and so we could hear this, which means I could really go deep into my hips. And also, just another thing, especially with the hips are lots of interlayered muscles and tendons and such. They're really hard to get deep. This gets deep. So I can tell you personal experience that it's definitely allowing me to get to places in my hips much, much, much more quickly. I mean, typically the theory is you get about 80% of this total stretch you're going to get in the first year, give or take. And I've been practicing for 4 years, and with adding the shaking, I think I've started a whole other round of 80%. So I've got a long way to go. I've managed to get through a lot of blocks that had sort of been stuck. And I think just the random shaking and the general loosening, it's very likely that had I spent more time stretching, it might have done it. But the fact that this sort of is the cheat code to stretching for me, it really is. It really is quite amazing how much it unlocks things. All right, I'm pretty loose here. I'm pretty good. Let me sort of check. Yeah, I'm pretty good. So I'm gonna take an HRV reading and see. Actually, I'm sorry, I've got a live HRV reading, and this will be the first one. So Paradox Diaries 5.1 out.